So here's how my football life started. All right, I've been bugging my parents about playing football for the longest, and then when I was about 13, they decided to let me play. So I go. My dad took me to over to Athens Park in Los Angeles, and they had tryouts. So I, did the conditioning for 2 days, and then they said, "Hey, okay, we got to break y'all up into positions." And initially I wanted to play like running back or wide receiver, but the coach there were about 150 kids out there, maybe even more. But the coach said, "Okay, everybody want to play wide receiver. All right, raise your hand." And all these dudes raised their hand, right? And then he told them to move over to one side, right? A ton of kids, right? Everybody want to play running back, raise your hand. All these kids raise their hand. So I'm looking around, I'm like, man, okay, huh. Then he got to the offensive line, and so they were gonna have cuts, right? So this is my first time ever playing first year playing football, contact football. Now I played like flag football at the park and all that, or played sandlot, whatnot. But so coach said, "Hey, okay, all right, everybody want to play center, raise your hand." I looked around, there were no hands up, so I put my hand up. So I started playing offensive center. All right, but I was a bad dude at offensive center now. And then so I played center for 2 years at Athens Park, for the Athens Park Packers. And then I went over. So my father sent me to Bourbon Day High School, and so my freshman and sophomore year, I played offensive center for the freshman team, and then my sophomore year I made varsity at center, and I started, and then before my junior year, I went to offense defense football camp, and so when you at the camp, they had all these. I didn't know what was going on, but they had pros there, pro football players like Ed Too Tall Jones, Tony Dorsett. All these guys were at this camp, and they had a bunch of college coaches at the camp. And so I get to the camp. The first day we did offense in the morning, we did defense in the afternoon. Then at the end of the day, the camp coordinator pulled everybody up and said, "Hey, okay, tomorrow you go to whatever position you choose. You decide on what position you want to play, and that's what you're gonna play for the rest of the camp." So I decided at that point, I went back to my room that night because it was a sleepover camp. I went back to my room that night and said, "Man," I was thinking to myself, I said, I'm gonna play center when I get back to school, so I'm gonna play linebacker here. So I played linebacker, and next morning, got up, I went with the linebackers, went through all the drills, all this stuff, and the linebacker coach at that camp was a linebackers coach at USC. Wow. Right? So I go there, I'm doing the drills and all that, moving in, boom, boom, boom. And then once we got done with like our individual period, he started pointing out guys and telling them, "Okay, you're going team one, you're going team two, you go team one." He points to me, "Oh yeah, you go over here with team one." I didn't know team one was a prospect dude, right?
You made the cut already.
So I'm like, oh shoot. So I get in the huddle. We go from individual, then we go on. It's all the prospect dudes, right? And so we're going 9 on 7, and they ran a lead play at me. Boom, I ran in there. Boom, knocked it out. I closed. I did the thing you shouldn't do. I ran in there so hard. I ran as hard as I could. I hit the fullback, closed my eyes, hit him. All I could feel was, I felt like bam, bam, bam. It's like 3 hits in a row. I hit the fullback, knocked him back into the halfback, and knocked them both over. Right? Everybody hit on the head. So that's how I started playing linebacker. So I did so well that I earned like one of the awards. They only gave out 2 awards at every level. They gave out Camp MVP, and they gave out Most Improved Player. So my buddy from my high school, he was a highly recruited like safety. Dude was ridiculous. 6'2", ran 4.5. He was ridiculous. He was a man child. But anyway, so he won MVP, and I was most improved. So when I got back to my high school, and for practice and all that, the coaches they got word and they saw me at camp, so they were like, "Oh shoot!" When I got back to school, they said, "Hardy, get in there, inside linebacker." And shoot, I was tearing it up, man. I was tearing it up. That's how I ended up playing.
You know the rest of the story, boy. This man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.